Your brand is worth more than $100. In the ball python hobby, your name means everything, and it can be really easy to destroy that entire name in one sale. Personally, I think this is a concept that most people understand, but sometimes struggle to follow through when things get hard. I think that most people are trying to put out quality animals and represent their brand and the business in the best way possible. However, I have seen a lot of people make this one mistake that can change everything for them. The biggest mistake I see people making is when they decide to move an animal out of their collection because it's causing problems for them. And what do I mean by this? What I mean is that if you have an animal in your collection that's not eating for you, that's causing problems, that maybe doesn't breed, and you decide, I don't need this in my collection anymore, and you sell it to another breeder, that other breeder now has a problem animal in their collection. So maybe you sold this animal for a discounted price. Maybe you sold it for, say, $100. Now you have $100 and that other breeder has a problematic animal. And it's really easy to get caught up in the, I don't have to feed it anymore, it's not my problem. But that $100 that you made is now a representation of your brand out in the hobby. And let's be realistic, reptile people talk. If I pick up an animal for $100, bring it into my collection, and then find out, one, it doesn't breed or it doesn't eat well, I'm gonna be bitterly disappointed, and I'm probably gonna call my friends and talk to them. Am I gonna post a video about it online? Not likely. I'm not gonna slam another business, and I think most people try not to do that, but they are gonna talk behind the scenes. And when they talk behind the scenes, that gives a bad representation of your business out in the hobby. Right now, we have a male in our collection that will not breed. In fact, it's kind of a laughing stock of jokes amongst our friends about this male that won't breed. We bought him in 2022, I believe, and paid 2022 prices for him. So it's been a huge disappointment. And at this point, I have males that are outperforming him and have better genetics than him, but I can't sell him. And the reason that I can't sell him is really an ethical question. Because if I sell him as a breeder, knowing that he's been paired to multiple females with no signs of breeding for a few years now, I'm setting another breeder up for failure. As much as I would love to sell this male, I can't do that to another person. Every single time you sell an animal, you're putting your reputation on the line. You're putting your brand's reputation on the line. And with all the time and energy that we put into making our brands, I believe that every single brand out there is worth more than $100 that you're gonna make on an animal that isn't performing in your collection. When someone buys that animal from you for, say, $100, and then they talk to their friends and talk about their negative experience with you, you've now lost their business and their friend's business. So sure, you made $100, but you might have lost $10,000. So what can you do instead? If you have an animal that will not breed in your collection and maybe you've tried for years working with it, you have a couple options. One, you have a pretty animal that's taking up space in your racks and you can continue feeding it throughout its life. Or two, you can list it as pet only and inform the future buyers exactly what's going on with the animal. There is a chance that in this case you might have to adopt it out. And adopting it out is gonna save you money in feed over time, so long as you're honest with the people buying it. If you have an animal that's not on food and isn't eating, just don't sell it. Get it on food. You're the breeder, you're supposed to be the expert in this. It is your job to make sure that animal is eating before you send it out into the world. One animal sale is not worth putting your whole business on the line. Before you put an animal out there on the market, ask yourself, is this going to be good for my business or bad for my business if the customer talks about it to their friends? If you find that it's going to be bad for your business, then my recommendation to you would be hold on to that animal for now. I'm Stacy with Midgard Morphs, and I want to thank y'all so much for getting us to 500 subscribers. We're currently working on getting to 550. Your subscription means the absolute world to us. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.